Hello guys and welcome back to another episode of our summer career mode here on EAFC 24. We're returning today off the back of our 2-0 victory against Leeds at the end of the previous episode, which saw Jean-Philippe Mateta return with 2 goals. We've got loads to get through today. I'm going to try and squeeze in 10 games. As I'm going to try and finish the second half of the Europa League campaign, the group stage. We'll have some more big games in the league, including Liverpool and Man City at Selhurst Park. But to kick off, it's the Carabao Cup last 16 at home to newly promoted in real life Ipswich Town, looking to make it to the quarterfinals of the competition. Come on, you Eagles. And with Munoz out of position, Ipswich looking to come forward. Oh, and Gurhey does really well. And now the game really starting to open up. Freuler over the top for Whittaker. Can he get there? He can. Morgan Whittaker! Yes, it's in! And Crystal Palace are going to win it late. We've been the better side. We've had the few chances that there have been in the game. And from one end to the other, Freuler with a brilliant ball through, and Whittaker wins it to send us to the quarterfinals. Oh, it's not gone. No, don't throw this away. Where's Burns? Ball across. I don't believe it. What an awful goal to concede. And I think it's Chaplin with the goal. That is so poor and so unlike us. Won the ball back with Ayew down the right. Should have just cleared it into touch. Instead tried to keep it in. Ipswich keep it alive. And Chaplin fires in the late equaliser. I cannot believe we've thrown that away. Here we go then, heading to penalties. Kamada scores into the top corner to give us the lead. Chaplin, who scored the late equaliser, also scores into that same corner. Haji Wright up next. Going the same way again. Haji Wright sends Walton the wrong way. Broadhead now going the same way. Oh, and Johnston dives low. I find it so hard to save pens. Edouard. This time going the other way. Odsonne Edouard also scores. 5 out of 5 scored. And Dan Burns going the other way. Burns denied by Johnston. Fantastic hand that he gets on it. And now Jordan Ayew going back to the right. Jordan Ayew into the top corner. A save here from Johnston will do it. It's Ladapo for Ipswich Town, and I nearly got there with Johnston. Still the chance to win it. Freuler, the Swiss international, sends Walton the wrong way, and we won it the hard way. But Crystal Palace will be heading through to the quarterfinals. So hard to save penalties, but 5 from 5. Crystal Palace heading into the quarters of the EFL Cup. Right then, before we head into the next game against struggling Burnley, we'll find out who we'll face in the quarterfinals, and then we should have an academy update as well. And it will be Spurs. Okay, well, that's a tough draw. I mean, could have had City, Spurs, United or Liverpool. But it will be Postecoglou's men at home at Selhurst Park in the quarterfinals. Tough draw, but I still think we can make it through to the last 4. And as for our scouting, still waiting for someone to make the academy this season. For now, from England, just one man, Jesse Rhodes, that we'll continue the scouting on. As for Northern Ireland, we've got 2 players here that we'll keep an eye on, but I'm actually going to give Darren Daly a pro deal. I quite like the look of this guy. And from the United States, well, the potentials have dropped a little bit, but we'll keep the scouting on these 2 here. So let's take a look at the academy and the new man that's been added. Of course, still got a lot of players from last year as well. Darren Daly, only 53 overall. I mean, looking at the stats, it is a physical monster, this guy. His finishing's really low. I might try converting him to a centre-back with the physical stats that he's got. He could be an absolute beast of a centre-back. So anyway, jumping into our next one is Burnley away at Turf Moor. Tricky start for Scott Parker's team. Just 4 points on the board and currently sat in 19th place. Should be a banker and another 3 points on the board. Come on, you Eagles. Of course, Crystal Palace still unbeaten for the time being. Still very early days in the season. Oh, Sule rattles the crossbar. Still very early days, and I do expect that to come to an end probably today when we face Liverpool and Manchester City. But it's been such a fantastic start, and yes, it's early days, but there's... Oh, Sule fires the shot in. Early murmurs of Crystal Palace doing a Leicester City and going all the way to win the Premier League title. I don't think it will happen this year. Wharton nicks it back off Bastien. Wharton to Matthias Sule. Nice ball to Doucouré and now Mateta. Mateta finds Wharton, who lets fly. And it's a brilliant goal by the young Englishman. Thought I'd kind of missed the opportunity on the attack there, but slowed it down, lifted into Wharton. And it's an absolute cracker from the former Blackburn Rovers man. Crystal Palace lead. Good hold up by the wing back. Now Doucouré to Wharton again. Might fancy his luck again. And this time Muric makes the stop. Desperate for that second goal. Eze swings the corner in. Mateta's underneath it. It'll fall to Richards. And he scuffs it wide of the post. Looking for that second goal, and if we get it, I don't think Burnley will be able to come back. Well, you know I always repeat that mantra. When we're leading by just one, there's always a chance for your opposition to get back into things. So far, Burnley digging in to stay in the game. Just 1-0 as Palace look for that second. It's into Mateta, and that's a fantastic little fingertip over the top by Muric. Wharton on the turn. Finds Eze. Now Wharton again. Back to Eze. Wearing the armband. Eze comes in field. Let's fly. And again, Muric is equal to it. A little bit more comfortable for the Kosovan, that one. Eze's corners in towards Richards. And it's off the woodwork. Kadioglu will try his luck. Deflected to Sule. And the flag stays down. And Palace have their second goal. It's been coming. And Matthias Sule gets it. Kept the ball alive from the corner. Crystal Palace lead by 2. Points surely in the bag now for those travelling fans. Oh, it's lost in midfield by Ozo. Come on, don't throw away the clean sheet. And Dooney back to Armando Broja. And Burnley do get their goal. Second game in a row we've conceded a really disappointing goal. Happened against Ipswich in the Carabao Cup, and now here against Burnley as well. Should be able to see this out, but disappointing to throw away the clean sheet. Well, there is the whistle, and disappointing, as I say. Second game in a row to throw away the clean sheet late on. Managed to scrape through on penalties against Ipswich, and we did hold on for all 3 points here, but you know it's one of my pet peeves, throwing away the clean sheet. Still good to keep our winning streak alive, and Crystal Palace will be remaining at top of the Premier League. Right then, match day 5 of the Europa League group stage coming up next. Bottom place Midtjylland at home at Selhurst Park. Should be another banker as we look to make it 6 wins out of 6 in the group stage. I believe a win here will send us through to the knockouts, which of course is the most important thing. Come on, you Eagles. Munoz, look at the space down the line for Wilf Zaha. Oh, and he's got the pace to get away. Brilliant from Wilfried Zaha, and he's got the finish as well. He and Odsonne Edouard have been fantastic in this competition for us. Zaha back at Crystal Palace and back scoring goals. Got the pace to get away and the finish past the keeper as well. Crystal Palace lead early. Nice ball by Gerhi into Schlupp. Leaves his man on the floor. Edouard with Kamada down the left. Great opportunity there. So Zaha in the middle, surely for 2. It's a lovely team goal by Palace. 2-0. That should be the win secured. And now, unlike in the first 2 games of today's episode, I want to make sure we see out the clean sheet as well. There is the whistle, and it is 4 wins from 4 for Crystal Palace. Qualified for the knockout stages with ease. And I said it when the group was drawn, I do fancy our chances. I still want to make it 6 from 6, something I've not done in a European group for a very long time. But Wilfried Zaha with both goals, securing the victory on match day 4 for Palace. Right, keeping the games flowing, jumping into the next one. It's Fulham at home. Obviously, Joachim Andersen's just been sold back to Fulham in real life by Crystal Palace. He's gone to Liverpool in our save, but looking for another 3 points here at Selhurst Park. Come on, you Eagles. Into the second period here at Selhurst. Won't lie, been a really poor game so far. Just haven't been able to create anything as Mateta does well, and he finds Matthias Soulé, whose effort is turned around the post by Bernd Leno. Didn't quite get hold of it, but the German still had to make the stop corners into Mateta. And he once again is denied by Leno. Corner again looking for Mateta. And Fulham survive. Starting to press on and try and find that opening goal, but so far it's a stalemate. Space for Eze down the left. What a ball by Decore. Eze in behind. Has to check. Eze hits it. Oh, what a goal! Eberechi Eze with an absolute cracker for Crystal Palace. On the break, Decore spots him in space. And in a game that's been quiet, no real chances for either side, Eze with a moment of magic for the Eagles. Last chance for Fulham here. Lukic into Antuna. Swings across in. No, not again. How many late goals are we going to concede? Fulham, who have offered nothing all game, have snuck a late goal and a point at the death. Antuna does well down the left. It's a great ball in, and Lukic just ghosts into the area. Dean can't get there, and Fulham fight back for a valuable late point at Selhurst Park. It's so frustrating to concede so late on, and that allows Man City to close the gap to just 2 points. Jumping into the next one, it's Leicester away at the King Power. Got to just get back on the horse and go again, looking for a return to winning ways. Come on, you Eagles. Mavididi steps away. Casey McAteer with Vladimir Soufal on the overlap. Still Soufal goes for the near post, and Dean Henderson has to get down and make the save. Not defending particularly well today, and giving away poor chances and poor goals. As Dean finds Matthias Soulé. Great dribbling by the Argentine. Going all the way here. Matthias Soulé, oh, it's off the post. I think the keeper might have got a touch, and Mateta looks to bend one. And Leicester City survive. It's nice play. Dewsbury Hall back to Gomez through the gap to Harry Winks. Trouble here. Oh, it's going to be a penalty. As Patro tried to recover, took out Harry Winks. And you'll see on the replay as he's trying to block the shot. I think it's quite harsh, but Gomez has the chance. Maxi Gomez denied by Dean. And the rebound smashed home. Dean guesses the right way, but just gets unlucky on the rebound. Leicester City lead. Kadioglu on the run down the right. He's onside there. Kept him play well. Kadioglu to Decore on the edge, and Hermansen does well to get a glove on it. Well, I think that's going to do it. It's going to be back-to-back games without a victory in the Premier League for Crystal Palace, and I just could not create anything in this one. Really, really poor performance from me. We didn't really create anything of note. Hermansen made one good save from Decore, but other than that, Leicester just held on to that 1-goal scoreline. Disappointing result, and just 1 point from our last 6 available. Heading into some really tough games. That is not the form that we want to be on heading into those. Poor run of form for Crystal Palace, but our attention returns back to the Europa League, where we've currently won 4 out of 4 in the group stage. Already qualified as top, but I do really want to make it 6 wins from 6, something I've not done in a long time. We're away in Turkey against Trabzonspor next, looking to make it 5 from 5. Come on, you Eagles. Yeah, poor little run of form for Crystal Palace, but I'm hoping we'll see this as an opportunity. Oh, Edouard with an absolute sitter. An opportunity to get back to winning ways. Bit of a dead rubber in terms of the group, but I'm looking for 6 wins from 6 in the group stage. Match day 5 here, we should be leading already. That's a big chance missed from Edouard. Ozo nicks it back. It's good from the youngster. And Ozo driving forward, waits for the runner Whittaker. And Whittaker looks to get away. And Morgan Whittaker, oh, it's found its way in. Good little mini run of form for the Englishman. And he gives us the lead after Edouard missed the chance early on. Struggled to create anything since then, but Ozo does well. Whittaker sent down the right, and he's got the finish as well to give us the lead. Oh, Pacho's done well there, stepping into midfield. Raksaki picks up the loose ball and drives into the space. Raksaki to Ozo. Look at the time on the edge for Hughes, and it's into Edouard, and there's our second. And with 20 to play, that will do it. Crystal Palace set to make it 5 wins from 5 in the Europa League. Yeah, really good to get back to winning ways after our first loss of the season at the King Power. 5 from 5 in the Europa League. And as I say, good to get back to winning ways with a really tricky week upcoming. Liverpool at home at Selhurst Park. We then travel to Villa Park away in midweek. And then we host Manchester City again at the weekend. So 3 really tough games upcoming. But before we get there, it's time for our next Youth Academy update, where again from England we'll just keep the scouting on Jesse Rhodes. Still waiting to find someone really good from England this year. From Northern Ireland we got some really good looking youngsters here. We'll keep the scouting on these 4, and I think I'm actually going to give Ewan Cassidy a scholarship. And not too much to report on from the USA. These 2 here could be decent. I think Nelson I'm actually going to turn away despite the pretty good starting overall. Potential's dropped quite a lot. And Brian Jackson, again, we'll keep the scouting on him probably for 1 more month. And here is how the Youth Academy is looking. Ian Mackay, still our best prospect in the youth system. Ewan Cassidy looking pretty good as a 15-year-old attacking midfielder. I like the base stats, and he is looking very decent. We'll get him on a development plan and continue his growth. But jumping into the first of these 3 really tough games in the league. It is Liverpool at home at Selhurst Park. They've struggled a little bit to kick off the campaign, but we know how much quality a side like Liverpool have. Looking to get back to winning ways in the league. Come on, you Eagles. Well, it's a return to Selhurst Park for Joachim Andersen today, starting in the back line next to Virgil van Dijk. No bad blood between club and player, as I said I wasn't going to stand in our players' ways if big clubs came in, and when Liverpool come calling, it's very hard to say no. So Joachim Andersen in the lineup as Alisson makes a decent save. Second half underway, still deadlocked at 0-0. No real chances for either side since the early Alisson save, one that we would have expected him to make, but both teams just sort of cancelling each other out at the moment. No one really wants to take a risk and send too many bodies forward. So at the moment, still deadlocked and looking for the opening goal. Szoboszlai away from Ballard. Looks to go around Gerhi. Free plays advantage. Still the Hungarian. Leaves Gerhi, and it's cut back and brilliantly finished off by Mikel Oyarzabal. Liverpool take the lead and Crystal Palace looks set for 3 games without a victory in the Premier League. Szoboszlai does well, just couldn't win the ball off him, pegged back to Oyarzabal, and he finishes it off brilliantly. But Crystal Palace just going into a poor run of form. We started the season off so well with no losses in, I think, our first 12 games. But now looks set for back-to-back in the Premier League. Szoboszlai's made a difference today. Ball into Valverde, big chance, and the rebound falls back to the Uruguayan. Szoboszlai's made a real difference today off the bench. Got the assist for the first, and he might not get credited with this one, but he did all the hard work as Fede Valverde doubles the lead. That will do it. Liverpool will pick up all 3 points. And it's 3 without victory for Crystal Palace in the Premier League. Well, it's match 2 of this really tricky week for Crystal Palace. Villa away from home at Villa Park, where they can actually leapfrog us here with a victory, as Manchester City open up a 7-point gap at the top of the Premier League, although we do have the game in hand. Really desperate to return to winning ways here. Come on, you Eagles. Yeah, Villa having another really good season, of course. FA Cup winners last year, beating us in the final. Currently sat in 4th place in the Premier League. It's a really good team that they've built under Unai Emery. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're up there again this season, as João Neves lets fly. And Dean Henderson makes a really good stop to deny the young Portuguese midfielder. Under the cosh already here at Villa Park. Had all of the ball in this first half, and João Neves once again denied by Dean Henderson. A really tricky opening half an hour for Palace. Still deadlocked at 0-0, but it's been all Villa pressure, and the 2 big chances of the game have come their way. Chance on the break, Lerma into Eze. Might fancy a run against Diego Carlos. Now it's Mateta, and Mateta bursting through. All Villa pressure so far, but Mateta opens the scoring. He's back amongst the goals. Jean-Philippe Mateta does it again for Crystal Palace. Well, what a time for Palace to score. It's been all Villa pressure. We've barely had an attack all game. And our first one, well, it fell to the right man, Jean-Philippe Mateta, with the goal. Our top scorer in the Premier League. And Villa, despite all that pressure, find themselves behind. Still a long way to go, and a big half needed if we are to hold on. But we've actually defended okay in the whole. Well, with 25 to play, I'll be honest, we have grown into the game. We've been better in this second half. Villa not really had any chances thus far. But they have just brought on this man, Moussa Diaby, who always causes issues against me. And he's swung that cross in, well headed out by Mengi. But it is all Villa pressure at the moment. Neves through to Watkins, and that's a brilliant finish by the Englishman. 20 to play. Villa draw back on level terms. Diaby skins Kadioglu, and he's away. Kadioglu's done well to get back at him, but it's into Watkins. Danger here, João Neves, brilliant block. And Palace survive as Freuler wins it back, but it's Neves into Diaby. Trouble as the Frenchman to the byline. Watkins, and Ballard does really well. Anywhere will do for Crystal Palace, and that should just about do it. It's not a return to winning ways for Crystal Palace, but it has stopped the rot. Still no wins in our last 4, but I will take the point here on the road, especially with Manchester City to come at the weekend. Well, Manchester City up next in the final of these 3 really tough fixtures. I don't expect us to return to winning ways here, but we can't really afford to lose, as that would extend the gap to 9 points at the top. Again, I would take a point against the league leaders. Come on, you Eagles. Well, we just had Joachim Andersen return to Selhurst Park with Liverpool, and now Michael Elise after the big transfer to Manchester City in the summer. He's back in London, and I'm hoping he's going to have a quiet day against us today. I wouldn't be one bit surprised if he's on the score sheet, but here goes his replacement, Matthias Sule, and Ake does well to cut off the angle. Yeah, expecting a really tough game here, and of course I would take a point against the champions. Well, 5 to play until the break, and so far we've done a really good job of keeping Man City quiet. I do feel like there's chances for us on the break as well, and here we come. Wharton to Eze, big chance, and he couldn't finish it on the weaker left foot. Ederson with the stop, and Palace will have the corner. It's floated into Mateta and well headed out, and looks as if we'll be heading into the break, still deadlocked at 0-0. Sule into Decore, gets away from his man, and now Mateta back to Decore. And space for Mitchell, and he's going to get there, Mitchell. And Mitchell in behind, flashes it wide. Well, the 2 big chances of the game so far have fallen to Palace, but City with a free kick here. De Bruyne up and over, and Richards off the line. I don't think Dean Henderson was getting to that. Alvarez, the now Atletico Madrid man. Alvarez spins away, and that's another good save by Dean. Looking to create something here, City. Alvarez with 10 to play. Haaland through the gap for Phil Foden. It's a brilliant Manchester City goal. Just could not get the ball off them. Alvarez, Haaland, De Bruyne, Rodri and Foden all involved. And they're just so good on the ball. Couldn't get it off them. They just waited until they had that pass inside. And it's a brilliant ball through by Haaland. Foden was never going to miss. And City look as if they're going to be heading 9 points clear at the top of the Premier League table. Mitchell down the left. Nobody to aim for in the middle. Checks back. Zaha swings that in. Sule! Oh, what an effort. And what a great save by Ederson. Not for the first time today. Sule did so well to get up ahead of Mendy and direct it towards goal. But it's a fantastic stop by the Brazilian. Wharton's corner is in. Ederson gets something on it. Manchester City hold on and do head 9 points clear at the top of the Premier League table. I said in those early stages when we were 4 or 5 points clear, there is a long, long way to go. And those teams below us cutting the gap. And there's now a serious race for European football forming as we're heading towards the second half of the campaign. But Manchester City, probably title favourites again, 9 points clear at the top of the Premier League. Right, we'll close out the episode with this one. It's been quite a long one today, but match day 6 of the Europa League group stage as we host Rapid Vienna. They need a win to qualify, and we're looking to make it 6 wins from 6 in the group stage, which is something I've not done for a long, long time. Need to return to winning ways after a tough run of form in the league. Come on, you Eagles. Corner for the visitors. Swung into that near post, headed on by Mengi. And we can't clear, and Rapid Vienna take a shock lead here at Selhurst Park. Should have just cleared with Whittaker. We didn't. And we trail just after the hour mark. Lots of work to do if we are to make it those 6 wins from 6 in the group stage. It's been a really poor run of form for Palace. Whittaker to swing the corner in, looking for Mateta, and we are back level. Gave him the nod tonight because he needs a goal, and he has got one. Crystal Palace back on level terms. Now can we find a winner with just over 20 to play? Rapid Vienna looking for the win. Remember, they need it to qualify tonight. Ball into the middle, and they've got the goal. And they are going to win on match day 6. Disappointing from Palace. It's going to be another game where we fall to defeat in this really, really poor run of form. We were 5 from 5 in the group stage, but we're not going to make it 6 from 6 as Rapid Vienna are going to become the first team to beat us in the competition this season. Well guys, that is where we will leave it for today's episode. Qualified for the knockout stages, top of our group, but disappointing to fall at the final hurdle. This poor run of form has also seen us drop to 5th place in the Premier League, with it being so tight and congested. Those European places really are up for grabs. Really disappointing run of form towards the end of today's episode, so we're going to have to bounce back in the next one. We'll start off the next episode with a trip to local rivals Brighton and Hove Albion, so where better than to stop the poor run of form than your local rivals. Big game there, and that will come at the beginning of the next episode. I'll catch you for it very soon, guys, and peace.